everyone, and welcome back to the Walking Dead series by The Verdict's In. I'm your host, Nicole.
I'm Gary.
And today we're talking about The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 20, entitled Splinter. This is our full recap. We did watch Sunday night and did an instant cast, so check that out.
Go check it out.
But Gary, what are your thoughts now that we watched the second time?
I still love the episode. I'm so glad they gave us a backstory of Princess. It was needed. And it seems like she's going to fit into the group, like, well.
I think so. She's a breath of fresh air.
She is.
And just even rewatching it, showing her PTSD, everything that she's gone through is very more real. Like, I know I think last week or whenever, I always say, like, why don't we show more people drinking or doing drugs and stuff like this? But this is something that they don't really show that much of either.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, they've showed people with some type of mental illness going on, but Lizzie was sort of the last one that I felt was real. Like the Morgan one, I just didn't connect with the Morgan one. Like 1 minute kill, 1 minute all life is precious, and then so that's not one I connected with really. But with Princess, hearing her reasons and just hearing her talk and seeing her being by herself for so long, and now with people she doesn't really know how to act, I just kind of appreciated this one more.
I think Princess and Morgan on the same level.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan did have some trauma. I mean, his wife and then his son died. So
right.
I'm not discounting what he's gone through. I guess I just wasn't really feeling the like kill and then not kill and then, but like we all have change our opinion every now and again.
Just like Pastor Gabriel. I think Morgan is like that. Like, he want to be good. First of all, you have to kill to protect yourself. And your second thought in your mind, like, damn, killing is still not right.
Right. It can never be a natural thing. Even in this case, it is something that they have to do.
Yeah, not if you have moral values beforehand.
Right. Now, I will say throughout this episode, I had so many different thoughts. Like 1 minute I'm like confused and not agreeing with it, and the next minute I'm like, oh, it's actually this, and I'm thinking about this. So I know on Sunday night we kind of talked about these people here, these stormtroopers, and
right.
Abuse of power and how it relates to the real world with people that are in power, and specifically the police. But rewatching, I just sort of started, I don't even know where my thoughts are right now. Like I started thinking about what Eugene was saying versus Princess, and how because I almost started sounding like those people, like the people that go, well, if you just listen to the cop, because that's in my head when watching this, that's what I was starting to think about Princess. I'm like, well, Princess, if you just answer their questions, and it's like excusing the abuse of power by saying like, well, if Princess just answered the questions, she wouldn't have this wouldn't have happened.
Well, they haven't gained their trust to answer questions. I don't trust you. We already started on a bad note. Y'all came with your guns out, pointed at us. Not only did you try to hold me down, you hit my friend. My friend in the head with a gun. Right. Now, there's a lot of other things that could have been done instead. Maybe they could have grabbed her friend, held her. I mean, sometimes it's over force. Right. There's things that's just unnecessary.
And escalating a situation.
Right. And if you haven't gained my trust to answer your questions, why am I going to answer your questions? You have to give to receive. First, you let me know who you are. Once you let me know who you are, then maybe, you can let down my guard so I can let you know who I am. Right. You can't just sit me in a room and tell me to answer all these questions. You could be somebody trying to get back to my group, trying to kill us. Yeah. And plus, Princess is new. She don't know much about these people.
Right. And I guess that's where I felt a little weird about feeling this way, because I was starting to think, like, trying to not necessarily make excuses for these stormtroopers, but I kept trying to see it from their perspective. And I'm like, well, Princess, why didn't she just do what Eugene was saying? Eugene was saying, hey, they need to get time to trust us. But it's really, there's no excuse. Yet at the same time, even though we're going to talk about everything that happened, I do now feel that Princess is not a reliable narrative. So do we even know that everything that we saw happened did actually happen? And like, I'm starting to wonder if these stormtroopers are even really in those stormtrooper outfits. Like, because she's like, you look like you're a, toy that came to life or whatever. And I'm like, what if when we finally see the true them, they're not really even in stormtrooper outfits? They're just like in maybe uniformed outfit, but they're not like that.
Well, when we first seen them, it wasn't from her perspective. When we first seen them, it was like a group overview.
Well, we might not know that it was from her perspective, or at this point, Walking Dead may have changed it and said, let's let that have been from Princess's perspective.
I doubt that.
What do you think of her talking, like saying the cities in her head, like in alphabetical order? Have you ever tried that? Have you done that game?
No.
Okay.
I understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something you have to do to calm down. Maybe she's been to a therapist before, and they were telling her, well, how about when you start feeling anxious or anxiety, whatever you're feeling, start saying cities in your head. It'll calm you down.
Yeah, in alphabetical order. So it kind of
Right.
When you're thinking about that, it's hard to concentrate on something else.
Yeah.
But hearing her backstory was so sad, and just hearing that there's so much domestic violence and violence against children right now during the pandemic since everyone's home, and it's like it's increased even more. And just hearing her story, it was just sad. Like, she's talking about she was 14 years old and she ended up getting a splinter, and based on, she didn't really say how she got the splinter. Well, she said how she got the splinter. It was on a door. But based on the start of that story, it sounded like she was already in a bad situation, like a situation like this.
Yes.
Because she was like, yeah,
abusive situation.
Yeah, because she was like, it was on the inside of a door, and it made me see like she was probably trying to escape whatever door she was in or whatever room she was in at that point, and that's why she's getting such bad PTSD from this moment. But how she got the infection, and her home life was no bueno, and she begged her mom to go back to school. And if a kid is begging to go back to school versus staying home, shit is really bad at home.
And you have to think about why she's not in school. She's 14 years old.
Well, she said since she got the infection, she had to stay home from school, and she begged her mom to let her go back, and she went back before it was fully healed. And it got worse. I get, maybe she's at school, she's not taking care of it properly like she would have.
Oh, okay. All right.
And even her school life sounded not good, but it wasn't as bad as her home life, from my understanding. But her stepdad pretty much disrespected her, laughed at her, smacked her. And I couldn't really understand what she was saying her mom said. But the bottom line, what I got from when the stepdad slapped her, was the mom was pretty much like, it is what it is. Like, the mom took the stepdad's side.
Right. That's what I got out of it. Her mother was just happy to be with a man. And, I mean, sometimes you see that in situations. We've seen it a lot during this pandemic when you see these news story about these young kids getting beat by their step-parents and all this crap. And you sit there and wonder, like, who will let somebody beat up on their kids?
Right.
But it happens every day. I mean, like I said, we've seen it happen often just watching the news during this pandemic. I mean, it's been like the most depressing time ever, just waking up. And the first thing I do in the morning when I get up is I open up an app, start reading stories from yesterday, what happened this morning, and I don't believe it has ever been this bad or known. It probably has, but it wasn't just out there like this, or that maybe wasn't the big topic or the news they ran with before.
Yeah. Well, and then some stories are, it's not necessarily that it could be more. It's also that the kids aren't even, you find out too late because the kids aren't going to school. So the teachers that are supposed to be the ones that have to report don't see these kids to be able to report the abuse. So it goes on even longer and it gets worse. In this case, though, when she talks about her stepdad slapping her, and then later on when she's talking to fake Ezekiel, and she was talking, he's like asking her if she's all right, and she's like, I got slapped, and it's healed before. So like, but the way she talked about it was as if it wasn't that one time that stepdad slapped her. It was multiple times.
It was multiple times, yes.
Like, it's healed several times. She knows how to, that jaw, she knows how to make sure it heals properly because that's happened several times. So that, it was just sad. It like, watching it the second time, it was just really just sad, pretty much is all I can say. And that's when you not Eugene, Ezekiel tells her no one's gonna ever hurt her again. And later on, when it looks like Ezekiel's the guy that's beating the stormtrooper, and it turns out it
turned out to be her.
When she was beating him, I listened and she was like, no one's gonna ever hurt me again. So it was like a callback to that a little bit, by like in her brain Ezekiel told her that, but really she was telling herself that. And that's why it made a little more sense why she was acting so irrational, because she's like, fuck that, I'm not waiting to see if someone's gonna beat me. And then they already slapped her. Maybe we'll see it from a different perspective. Maybe it won't be exactly like that, but who knows?
It would be nice if they showed it from a different perspective.
Yeah, showed it from like their perspective, and maybe she did something different. Then, and maybe I don't, who knows?
Or show another side, show someone else's story.
Right.
And you're right. It's crazy that she sees Ezekiel as a protector, and she had to get good vibes from him from the moment they met to know that this is someone I could trust. This is someone that would have my back, because you don't just meet somebody and think that, okay, this is going to be my protector. This is what they would say. No one will ever hurt me again. Stuff like that. I'm just glad she has this attachment to our group. She feel the attachment.
Well, at one point she says they came back for me. And then I was trying to remember how last season, I know when they were walking through and they went through that, like the mine.
The landfill.
The landfill, yeah. So I'm like, wait a minute. Did they come back for her for that? Because I can't really remember exactly. I am still on season 9 rewatching, but I can't really remember.
I remember they were pissed off behind
I know
that.
they were pissed because she was like, oh, well, usually I can get through it, yeah.
And she took them in a circle, right?
Yeah, something. So, but they had her back, and that's what she was saying. Like, I don't want to lose these people. I finally met them. But the reason why I think she saw Ezekiel is because it sounds like maybe she had an older brother or a brother as a protector.
Right.
Because
makes sense.
When she was about to escape and she sees the Ezekiel with the 2 walkers, she was talking to him as if it was a brother, because he was like, mom was crazy, and then she's like, no, but mom was strong, she had to do what she had to do. And like they were talking like that from a sibling perspective.
Yeah.
So I felt maybe that she had a brother.
And you know what? I could see how the situation could bring that childhood trauma. If this is what you've been through, getting locked in rooms, had to find your way out, and the abuse that she's gone through, this being in this situation all over again, like we said, or like I said before, that they didn't start off good. The stormtroopers, it wasn't a good introduction.
Right.
They came guns out, drop it, which it's understandable during this time, through the zombie apocalypse, because you can't trust anyone. But they were overly aggressive, and that's something I don't see coming back from. If this is how I'm introduced to you, then I know that, there may be some good people, but what do we say? You can't be a good person, and you're part of the problem if you accept that behavior from someone else. And going back to what you said when they were in the interrogation room, and you thought, why don't you just speak? How many strangers could come up to you and ask you personal questions and you speak on it?
Yeah. Although, honestly, their questions weren't really big, hardball hitting questions. They asked her age, where she's from, and what's the names of the people in her group. I didn't really find them that strong. I felt his reaction was strong when he slapped her for no reason. It's like, you're a bitch. I'm like, whoa, that doesn't even seem to match what this conversation was going. There was no reason.
Overly aggressive.
Yeah, there was no reason for that. But
any question that's coming from a stranger is, it's just crazy. Yeah. If someone come to you and ask you, hey, where you from? So what's your husband and kids' names?
But yes, in the real world. But in here, you're in somebody's proper, just like last week with Maze. You're in there. He's talking. He's asking questions, and they answered it. They answered the questions like, hey, this is, they didn't give all their information. We have a big group, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I'm not blaming Princess at all.
Well, I think there was a different situation. You had Pastor Gabriel and Aaron. They were really trying to survive. It was them two, and it was this guy, and they were trying to say whatever they had to say to convince this guy that they were good. They were good enough not to kill.
Right.
In this situation right here, you don't know what these people are going to do to you. You don't know if you answer their questions, if they're going to still harm you, lock you back up, kill you, or whatever.
Well, I like that Princess was like, well, pretty much after she told the young stormtrooper everything about her, she was like, really, pretty much it doesn't matter how old I am, where I'm from, how long I known these people. The only thing that matters is that we're breathing. And they've said that before on The Walking Dead, I believe, like,
yeah,
the living are what's important. And so that's all that matters at this point is I'm breathing. So nothing else matters. But it was definitely funny when she was like 25, 28. I don't know who lost count. Like, I don't even know. So
what day is it?
Right. But overall, I thought the episode was okay. The second time I did get more information out of it, but it was not that I enjoyed it more. I did get more information. I kind of understood where she was coming from, but I will say it definitely wasn't on my list of top Walking Dead episodes.
Yeah, it wasn't a top Walking Dead episode, but it was an introduction. And we have a lot of characters that come in and don't have an introduction, or we don't know why they're the way they are.
Right.
Like, we got Eugene's introduction, but it still really don't make any sense to me.
Of why he is the way he is.
Why? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. They didn't talk about no past trauma. They didn't talk about this. Eugene just didn't want to be alone. That's his story.
Right.
At least right here with Princess, we get a backstory. And guess what? Now we trust her. She gained our trust.
Well, let's go ahead and get into the listener letters then, because I feel like they're going to add some more to what we have to say or what our thoughts were. But before we get into this week's listener letter, we did have an episode from Mike, and it's for last week's episode I want to talk about real quick. He said the latest episode took a wild turn when the Terminator showed up. Pastor Gabriel made the right call for sure. This dude just forced you to play Russian roulette. Yeah, now yeah. Remember, because I was like, oh, he was a better candidate than his brother. But nah, if you do some sick shit like that. Then that crazy twist that the brother and his dead family upstairs sealed it. Terminator had to die. Pastor Gabriel, let's go.
Right.
And then, although it is a bummer because this guy was clearly skilled at finding food and supplies, he had liquor, canned goods, and a damn pig in his closet, could have been valuable to the group if he wasn't a lunatic psychopath. That was messed up when his changed brother said, he made me play. Oh, that's what he said. Because I first thought he said he made me watch. But he's saying he made me play. I had to rewind it and turn on the subtitles.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so... But then how did both people die? If it's Russian roulette and one shot themselves, how did both of them get killed?
No. They didn't shoot themselves. His brother killed him.
What do you mean?
Instead of putting a gun on yourself, you turned and shot.
Oh, he ended up shooting. Oh, yeah, that's what, he didn't do what Eugene and Aaron did. He shot. He chose
to kill his family.
Oh, that's so sick. That makes it even worse and scarier of an episode. Oh my gosh. Okay. I assumed he was talking about the Russian roulette. Then I saw the bullet holes. I was like, wow, because the little girl had one on the side of her head and the mom had one in the middle of her forehead. That means the little girl refused to point the gun at whichever parent she was playing with, but the Terminator's brother pointed it at his own wife. I mean, damn, this shit just keeps getting more messed up. Wait, so the girl killed herself, but the Terminator's brother, they played multiple times, and the Terminator's brother killed his wife.
That's what it sounds like.
Jeez, Mike, I wish we had this episode for last week.
Right.
Oh, gosh, this is messing me up emotionally. This shit just keeps getting more messed up. And he says, anyways, that's really my main takeaway from that episode, other than the group is struggling for food and Pastor Gabriel is becoming savage, a.k.a. villain. I added a.k.a. villain. Can't you hear your likes and dislikes, choices?
Don't add on to his letter. He's a savage.
Thanks, Mike. And then he says, P.S. How does a man catch a boar? Yeah, how did he catch a boar in the middle of who knows where? And I don't know. Well, remember they used to have pigs. Remember they had to give those pigs back to the saviors back in the day? Where are
Oh,
those?
King Ezekiel.
Yeah. So where are these
Yeah,
pigs
they
and
were
stuff now?
they were affecting the
They were
pigs.
trying to infect the pigs, thinking that would
Yeah.
do something, and
Right.
clearly it didn't. So that's kind of good to know.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mike. And he
Thanks,
did
Mike.
write in this week as well. I know he said he's been working a lot of hours. We definitely understand. So he was happy to get this week's episode in. All right, he said, all right, this episode was good, man. It was giving me flashbacks to when Rick had that phone that he was talking to his dead wife on. Wow, good callback. Yeah.
That is a good callback.
I forgot. Yeah, everyone's had some emotional. I mean, we've been 1 year in the apocalypse, and we've all had some emotional trauma and mental breakdowns where they're like 10 years in. So, yeah, Princess has been through some shit. I get the impression that this girl hasn't had a single easy day in her life. The twist where he found out all this stuff wasn't really done, all this stuff wasn't real, was done really well. When Ezekiel started losing his shit, I thought, damn, Carol really messed this man's head up. Now he's taking it out on this Star Trooper. Yeah, I thought that too. Remember, I was like, this is not King Ezekiel that does this. And then I was like, oh, he's probably pissed off at the Carol situation still.
But you know what? He's not going to let the guy take him.
Like the Stormtrooper?
Yeah. I can see anybody doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
because picture the Stormtrooper would have caught him. You had to put that in the back of your head. Like, damn, if the guy caught me first, what would he have done to me?
Right. When Princess starts saying the state capitals, I thought about when we first met our group. She said something like, how do I know people are real? Tell me something I don't know. And I think she asked in the capital of Pennsylvania or something. Then she was like, wait, did I already know that? Poor girl got some screws loose. Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, because she doesn't know. She can't even trust her own mind.
Right. Mike is on it.
Dang, Mike, you are on it. You were spitting fire. That last email still has me like mentally disturbed now that I got, because I didn't even. That one was crazy. So, yeah, okay. This episode made it hard to tell what was really happening, but I hope she never had to stand naked in front of them. Hopefully that was just a hallucination. Oh, yeah, that is kind of weird. But then I thought about, like, and maybe that's why I keep bringing the police and the criminal justice system, because that's what when I saw that scene, I was like, this is so fucking foul. And then I thought, well, don't they do that in prison? Like, I don't know if they make you shower in front of them, but, well, you shower in front of the other inmates, but like I've always heard you bend down and cough and, you know, shit like that. Like, right. No privacy whatsoever. So I kind of thought of, which I, in a way I get, but it's so fucked up. So when I saw that, I just thought, like, what the hell? This sick system, like, they're keeping this shit going. So yeah, that hopefully not. Now the trooper did say some stuff that had me thinking, if this group is as big and organized as he claims, maybe they have a way to treat the king's cancer. That is probably a stretch, but I'm an optimistic guy.
Hopefully they do. I mean, that would be cool, and hopefully everybody are not assholes. Yeah.
I know I've been seeing people say that, like, I think last season when the Stormtrooper first popped up, people were like, okay, maybe this can treat King Ezekiel's cancer. And I don't know. I just feel like sometimes cancer in the world is not able to be treated. So even if they have the tools, does it mean, like, what, you know, how far is this cancer? And it's not like, even if they have all the tools, can they still treat it? You know?
I'm pretty sure they can. I mean, this is television.
Yeah, they might not take it that dark. Like, Nicole, we don't have the tools, and we have the tools, we'll do it. So, okay. And then he continues, at this point, I wouldn't be trusting anyone I meet, especially if they seem to be doing well. Can't wait to hear y'all break this one down. Keep up the great work. Those instant casts are great. Thank you. You're a fan, Mike. And he says, P.S. What's up with those two zombies being stuck together with that plank of wood? Yeah, is that I think he's talking about the one that Ezekiel was like.
Yeah, with Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Maybe they put it there so people wouldn't try to escape.
Yeah,
more of a security measure. Or it could have been prisoners. People.
Oh, yeah. People. I mean, all walkers were people at one point.
But it could have been prisoners. People that didn't want to cooperate.
And Mike, let us know if you are on Twitter. I had sent you an email. I don't know if you got it. But let us know if you're on Twitter. Because Chantel and Tiffany, they would definitely like to follow you if you are on Twitter. All right. Thank you so much for writing in as well.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
And then we got Chantel, who was up late emailing us, but I was up late when she said she emailed us, so that's perfect. Thank you for writing in. And she goes, okay, I hope this message makes it in time. She didn't get a chance to write in last week. Oh, she had a lot to say. You could have said some stuff here, like Mike, because that email messed me up. I just can't, like, to see your kid kill herself and you kill the mom. Ugh. Okay, she's like, I enjoyed while watching, but I definitely thought this would be like He's Not Here and Here's Not Here, back with Morgan.
Yeah.
An episode I love, but will probably skip if I rewatch the series. Chantel, we already know you be rewatching the series. Stop faking the funk. Here's Not Here. You remembered the title of that episode. Chantel secretly works for The Walking Dead. She's a Walking Dead plant. She sends the emails in. She's on the Walking Dead team. And she's like, you guys, I've infiltrated a Walking Dead podcast. Anywho, okay, let's go. Now to Splinter. Oh my God. I loved it from start to finish. Well, maybe not exactly the start. My first note, was, oh God, Eugene is narrating this one. We're not off to a good start. But after that, I was loving it. Since this episode was basically all Princess, I don't have headings this week. Okay, here we go. 1. It was pretty clear from the beginning that Princess was blaming herself for Yumiko getting hit. She kept replaying it over and over. Of course, at that point, we had no idea how deeply she was impacted, but it was clear she was suffering. Her coping mechanism of counting in Spanish and naming the state capitals in alphabetical order was interesting, and in retrospect, was telegraphing that she had childhood traumas. Those two activities are things you do in childhood, in my opinion. She has been doing those things to escape, cope, comfort herself since she was young.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. That was sad. Okay. The traumas Princess has experienced broke my heart. The Splinter story and the way she kept licking her finger throughout the episode were both so effective. Yeah, I agree. When Princess first found that hole in the train car and climbed through it, I thought to myself, now how the hell is she going to sneak around in this bright-ass jacket? I tweeted that. I was like, yeah, Princess, take off that bright jacket if you're going to be sneaking around. When she ran into Eugene and he was being peaked in captivity, I did not ask you to rescue me, Eugene. I rolled my eyes so hard.
That was Eugene.
That was Eugene.
Like, she has his personality down in her head.
Yeah. While he had a point, his behavior reminded me of the times he was a wuss and or a traitor in the past. I'm never letting that go. Yeah, I'm not either. Like I said, I just watched the season finale of season 8. Now I'm on season 9. And him and Rosita just ran into the whispers. That was really cool scene back then. But yeah, Eugene, every time I look at him, I'm like, how y'all let Eugene back in the group? You know, like, he ain't do shit. Like, he's done so much wrong.
Yeah. But Eugene was the one who saved him, who helped him, not saved him.
Yeah, he helped him because he hurt them at first.
Yeah,
remember, he was there when Sasha died. Remember, Sasha tried to talk him out of it. I think he gave Sasha. No. I'm getting confused. Did he give Sasha the pill that she killed herself with? How did she get that pill? I thought Eugene.
That's a good question. I wonder, did Eugene give it to her, or was it one of the ladies?
Eugene did give it to her, if I remember.
And Eugene got it from one of the ladies.
No, Eugene made it, I think, originally for one of the ladies. I don't remember. Yeah, for one of the wives or something.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, let me see where she's at.
I'm laughing at that bright jacket though.
Yeah.
Man, pink jacket like a poodle, like a damn poodle. Somebody died.
That jacket looks it reminds me of like high school, like early 2000s. It's just the vibes. It's just so cute. Like, it's something that you would definitely, like, her whole outfit
came straight from Rainbow.
But it's something that you would put on if you could pick anything out in the store and you just pick out weird shit or something you normally wouldn't actually buy.
But I mean, everything she has on could play a part in her childhood trauma.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe she wanted wearing a pink
goggles.
jacket. She never got it.
She's wearing goggles, a pink jacket. I mean, she looks like a kid.
Right.
She dressed like a kid.
Right. Well, that's why I said it's like high school vibes or whatever. All right, Chantel continues. The interrogation was so strange. The main guy was in a shadow for so much of it, so I was suspicious of him the entire time. The questions he asked were so bizarre too. Why not ask the others what their names were? Why does he need her to confirm? When he hit her, her actions did not require that amount of force from him. We can't trust them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chantel. We can't trust them. I thought the line of question was weird. I thought everything is weird. I mean, sometimes you have to give some to, you know, they lied at the end. You know, he came in just to feel her out, get the information out of her. So why not lie in the beginning if that's what you're doing?
Right.
Just, you know, make her comfortable enough to tell you what she needed to tell you. But like I said, they already got off to a bad start. So it's hard to come back from that. When he hit her, called her a bitch and hit her, they were just really showing who they were.
No, you're right. And that guy that hit her, I don't know his name, but he's definitely recognizable. Like, I recognize him from other things. So at first I was like, he's probably going to be on the show for a while. But no, The Walking Dead can get big names just to pop up for a couple episodes or an episode or two. So we'll have to see how much more of him we'll see. And if he can change our opinion. Because right now, his opinion, my opinion of him is really low. All right, she goes, back in the train car, when Princess commented that her jaw had been fractured more than once before, I wanted to cry. The way she explained it, like it was nothing, broke my heart. That actress, she demonstrated that character's pain in such a special, understated way. Yeah, that's why I said the second time watching it, it was just more sad. Like, just paying closer attention to the things that she was saying, watching her look at that splinter, just putting two and two together and realizing, okay, this is from trauma. It was just sad because it's also real of these kids that are going through this. We've said it before, and you guys said in the instant cast, these people need therapy. Yeah, and that maybe is what Pastor Gabriel should be doing. You know,
yeah, he should
offering therapy, even offering group therapy. I mean, all types of forms of therapy.
I think he is.
Okay.
Remember, they were getting together in a group and talking.
All right.
I don't know if that's still going on, but I remember it from a couple of seasons ago that Pastor Gabriel was over a little AA or whatever, just a apocalypse type meeting.
Right. When Ezekiel told her, no one is going to hurt you anymore, not while I'm here, I thought, oh Lord, Ezekiel is going to die and they're probably going to hurt Princess. Oh, I didn't even think. You know what? For some reason, I wasn't even thinking about Ezekiel dying this week. I don't know why.
Why? That's always your pick to die.
I know. He seems so brave.
Don't get sick around the cold. You'll be her number one choice forever.
When Ezekiel hit that guard, I was like, yes, he's on that Carol mode. He saw an opportunity and he took it. They did the big reveal masterfully. Realizing that Princess was really tripping was such a mindfuck. She is an unreliable narrative. How do we know what was real and what wasn't? What do you guys think was real and versus what was in her head? Here are my guesses. And before she gives her guesses, what do you think was real and what wasn't?
I think everything was real except the Eugene, King Ezekiel, and all those broken board pieces. And you said that. You said when you first seen the train, like, wow, how they put her in there and expect her not to escape.
Right.
The board pieces, all, especially that big wood thing that they just hammered from the inside. Well, it don't matter where they hammered it from. That'll be the wrong cart to put somebody in. So I think what was real was when they captured him, the line of questioning, when he went to question her, that was real. I think all that stuff brought out the trauma.
Okay.
I don't know about her trying to escape, not trying to escape, but her actually getting to that gate. Because how did that happen and they were outside? Right.
I thought that too. And then I thought that was sweet when she came back. She's like, no, they came back for you. Like, you're not going to leave them. And she's like, but we, I'm a superhero on my own. I can do this.
So do you think maybe she mentally checked out and decided, no, I got to get back in the game. I got to come back. Is that what she meant by they came back for you?
I don't know. Now I don't know what is real, honestly. I'm kind of questioning everything. And part of me wants to hope that the force that we saw maybe really wasn't that. Because how else, I don't know. How else are we going to ever accept these people after what they just did?
Well, even at the end when we realize what's going on, he's still pretty fucked up. And looking at her face, she's pretty fucked up also. So we
I
know.
thought her face had all that blood on it from hitting him.
Well, I mean the red cheek and everything that she had.
Oh yeah.
It all that stuff. If the ending was real, then everything that happened with the violence is real.
Possibly.
Well,
no, I wouldn't say just even if the ending's real, we don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, let's hear what Chantel thinks was real versus not. Ezekiel is definitely fake. They explicitly showed us that. And in retrospect, it looked like his ass floated from the ceiling and it looked like he materialized out of nowhere to hit that guard. Yeah. On the second watch, I was like, when the guard came in, why didn't he see Ezekiel? And it was like, boom, Ezekiel next to you. And I'm like, how did he get over there to hit him?
He jumped back through the hole.
Yeah. 2, Eugene has to be real. His behavior in that scene is nothing like the compassionate, determined person Princess knows. She shouldn't be able to project that reaction onto him that easily. She's right. That part might have been real.
Well, I don't think that part was real because that hole wasn't there. So she would have never been able to escape out of it to get to Eugene.
Yeah, I don't know. Yumiko was fake. Her voice sounded dreamlike, almost as though she was underwater. I agree. And I don't know what to make of that interrogation or any of the interactions with the stormtroopers. What do you guys think? I mean, is any of what we saw reality or is it all in Princess's head? I am wondering if they're really in those stormtrooper outfits.
Yeah, they have to be.
Because like I said, so uncomfortable.
When it was introduced, it wasn't from her perspective.
We don't know that.
We kind of know that. Unless the first introduction of her, they've been telling her story since then, which I don't think so. I don't think she's been in dream mode this whole time.
All right. And she says the episode title works hard this week. We have the obvious splinter in her finger, and we also have a splintering of their foursome when they are separated, the splintering of Princess's mind from reality, and a splintering of the confidence in our own judgment when it comes to this show. In the beginning, we had no reason to doubt we could believe what we were seeing, but then something happened to shake that belief, understanding. So are the stormtroopers horrible people who hit women in the face with guns, or are they the Boy Scouts looking guard who delivered the food and recited an oath about his community's purpose? Is anything we saw real?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, she said, I can go on and on about this episode. I really loved it. It's the best of the bonus season. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. I
thought so. I thought this was the best of the bonus season. I know Nicole don't think so, but which episode do you think was better than this one?
Well, we've only had a few.
Well, then this has to be the best.
Well, now the maze, that was interesting. And then I can't even remember the episode before that at this point.
Okay. But going back to my thought, if the stormtroopers are real and, like she said, the gun butt to the face and all of that, then we have to assume that the walkers that were boarded together, they were real. So, I mean, it just pretty much get evil to me. Like, I just can't really trust them, because why is there walkers boarded right outside the gate? They're boarded to the gate or boarded to each other right outside the gate. And I don't know.
That's if they were really there.
Now I'm questioning everything that I thought.
Yeah. I do like Chantel's breakdown, though, of like the splintering and all that. Like, really good job.
Yeah.
Chantel, a.k.a. Walking Dead writer. All right.
Let's go back and see who wrote this episode.
I know. It's in a fake name. It's not her real name. So, all right. Thank you so much for Chantel for writing in. We appreciate it as always. If you all would like to be part of the podcast, we'd love to hear your feedback. dead@theverdictsin.com or on Twitter @theverdictsin or facebook.com/verdictsin. Gary, who do you got this week for I Ain't Fearing Shit? I mean, well, there's only a few people in the episode.
I got Eugene. No, you know what?
We should have started always fearing shit.
Always
fearing shit. Always scared.
You're full scared for no reason. It has to, we don't know what happened this episode, so we don't know.
Yeah.
I would like to commend the princess for dealing with her issue. Like she said, she came back. So if that really happened and she was leaving and she came back, then I would have to go with Princess. It's not fearing shit. I think everything else that led up to that part was just reaction.
All right, I'm going to give it to Princess as well, because either way, we know she's going through trauma, but at least she's not so far gone that she doesn't even realize it. She knows she's going through trauma. She's trying to figure out ways how to self-help herself. Even when she says, she was like, I got ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, depression, loneliness, an active imagination. So this seems like a sane response to an insane world.
Yeah.
You know? And everything she said, I was like, damn, Princess is hitting some facts here. So really good episode. Glad they talked about it. And I'm going to have to give it to Princess. I ain't fair and ship.
Yeah. I mean, I could give it to Make Believe King Ezekiel.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I'm like, could I give it to Make Believe King Ezekiel? But
Make Believe King Ezekiel, he snuck in there.
Yeah.
Came in there, came back hard, whooped up on the guard.
Right. Right. All right. Most likely to die next week.
Really, I don't know where we're going to be at next week, but it's nobody of importance. I think these bonus episodes are just going to be fillers. They're going to be story fillers, fill-ins for giving us backstories like they gave us Daryl's backstory or where he's been those years. They just gave us Princess. So maybe we'll find something out about Carol next week. What she did when she was off alone, in between King Ezekiel trying to court her.
Yeah.
We'll probably get that. That's not anything I want to see, but they may make it interesting. Who's going to die next week? I say 2 walkers. That's it.
All right. Yeah, I don't really think I'm going to give anyone of importance. Well, you know what? I'm just going to assume we're not going to be back at the Stormtrooper place and we're going to go back to where Maggie and everyone else is. But even then, on that side of the world, I can't imagine who's gonna die on that side. Like, for some reason though, and I know I don't want this person to die, but for some reason right now I feel like Jerry might be in jeopardy. I'm worried for him for some reason.
You think they upped him up too much?
Yeah.
They said that he's handling stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially because Carol just talked about him, said he's leading them more. So
I think they was trying to set up the Carol and Daryl gone. And now, they're putting Jerry's in a spot where, okay, we know that he's taking over. Right. They're trying to bring him to the forefront.
Right. That's a possibility. But I'm going to go with him. I hope not, but I'm going to go with most likely die Jerry.
One thing that I realize is they're giving us too many damn stories if you think about it. We had the stormtroopers right here. We have the militant guy over here.
Yeah.
And we don't know what the hell Daryl and Carol is doing.
And then the Reapers. Let's not forget, that's the episode that was before. The Reapers.
That's what I meant, the militant guy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he could be a part of the Reaper.
Yeah.
So we have all this stuff going on that is like a whole bunch of different TV shows, television shows that we're watching all at once.
Yeah, that's why when I showed Aaron, I was like, oh, they're bringing that guy back. And I'm like, oh, it's the same show. But I was getting confused because there's so many people.
There's so much going on right now.
All right, well, we'll see. I don't remember. I know there was a trailer, I think, but I actually right now can't remember what I saw. Do you remember seeing anything?
I said Carol because I think it was Carol and Daryl again. Okay. I'm not sure, but I think so.
All right. We'll be back next week, hopefully Sunday night with an Instacast. Until then, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gary.
Bye.